What is the hardest crime to solve in Danganronpa? The ranking will be based on complexity, left key evidences, and motives. Number 15, the easiest in the game, aka Leon Kuwata 11037.
What do you see?
That could mean anything.
I am most befuddled. Okay, but take a look at this. All right, we just turn it around, and
Oh! Why did I not see that before?
Kuwata, your first name is Leon, right?
No.
This guy forgot to erase his fucking name after killing the K-pop artist. Number 14. I mean Mondo Owada. So the thing is, Mondo actually hid and destroyed all the evidence, which made the case impossible to solve. But there are two major flaws present. The first of all, Bakayuka caught him killing and carrying the victim. Second of all, he linked himself to the one piece of key evidence!
Have a matching blue jersey, huh? Well, looks like I'm off the hook at least. I grabbed me a black one.
Should have kept your mouth shut!
The fuck? Why are you not debating with them? That is what you were supposed to do!
That's cause, yeah, I kinda did it.
What?
Number 13, Taiko Yasuhiro, aka Celestia Ludenberg. So the thing is, Celestia had a near-perfect but overcomplicated murder plan, which was her immediate downfall. So the thing is, by inciting her classmate to commit a murder and then kill that classmate allowed her to create a complicated case. But due to her fake name and one of her victims surviving and ratting her out, caused it to simplify the case. On top of that, it also doesn't really help that the person Celestia tried to frame is the most dumbest person in the group, framing the weed guy. I mean, Celestia also gave away too many info in the hope to avert suspicion of her, causing everyone to fit the pieces. Number 12, now we're getting somewhere on this list. We have... Never mind. Oh my god, this guy. Korekyo created a nearly perfect locked room mystery, which was impossible to solve if he didn't make this one mistake. This single mistake costed him the number 1 spot on this list. The thing is, by killing a second student, he created more evidence and trails, leading it to a connection to the first murder he committed. And it doesn't really help that this dude also admitted to the crime. Number 11. The best character ever. Sakura's case is due to the evidence leaving the scene multiple times and the case being a suicide, but due to Aoi's knowledge about the suicide, a solvable but complex murder. Next up is number 10. Kaede Akumator. Kaede created a murder committed from a distance. This way she had an alibi. It was impossible to solve if for not Kaede straight up admitting to the crime and Shuichi piecing the pieces together. On top of that, the victim was not even the original target, adding to the mystery of the motive on top of the complexity. Almost halfway through the list. Kirumi Tojo. The ultimate mom, the ultimate mate. The ultimate mate.
The end of the rope came loose, and the inner tube dropped into the pool. Thus, the culprit was forced to leave 2 key pieces of evidence, the fabric and the inner tube. They couldn't retrieve the evidence because of the rule against swimming at nighttime.
What does that piece of trash prove?
It ends here!
Number 8. Peko Pekoyama. Peko, like Korekyo, created a locker room murder. However, she made it less complex than it could be. The reason for that is because she couldn't have washed the blood off in the shower. The crime scene were empty bottles, and she was the only wet character at the time. Number 7. Teru Hanamura. 2 reasons was all it took for him to get caught. If Teru didn't scream under the floorboards, there would have been no way for Hajime to suspect him. The door were locked, the hall was dark, and Teru was in the kitchen? Teru was the only person who knew about the missing skewer, the weapon that killed Byakuya. The case was complex. The culprit killed the victim from a different room, but still failed. Number 6. Gonta Gokuhara. Kokichi witnessed the murder, so it was over for Gonta from the beginning. However, the case is still complex because the own culprit doesn't even know they committed the murder because they lost their memories. Now we get to the top 5. And at number 5 we have Mikan Tsumiki. Nothing Mikan said made up, and nothing she said added up to the evidence, adding to the complexity. Her alibi did not match up, because how could she be at 2 places at the same time? However, the 4th case is even more complex, because now we have Gundam Tanaka, aka the Funny Words Man. The thing is, Gundam kept giving hints because he had no intention to win. He could have easily accused someone like Nagito and everybody would believe him. There was zero proof of anything that he did, except one thing. The ringing clock that betrayed his alibi.
So they could craft their alibi when Nekomaru died from the fall. But something unexpected happened. Fuyuhiko, who saw Nekomaru earlier, was still at the lounge. As a result, the killer couldn't return to their room, and with no options available, time ran out. The lounge's wall clock alarm started ringing at 5:30. Well, actually 7:30. To avoid a worst-case scenario, the killer was forced to appear in front of Fuyuhiko with the others.
Number 3. Finally, the top 3 on this list. Sans Undertale. I mean Nagito Kumaeda. So the only piece of evidence that led to Nagito's defeat was him revealing his intentions long before the trial. Nagito created a murder-suicide, which is covered as a murder, which is also covered as a suicide. However, a bunch of evidence lays around, you don't know what you have to do with it, and the own culprit does not even know that they committed a murder. This case gets complexer by the minute. Number 2, and you might have guessed it. It's obviously Tsumugi. Like, come on, it's kind of obvious. But let me explain why. So, the thing is, Tsumugi had an unfair advantage. It took 11 lives, including that of Kaito and Kokichi, to get a hint of what that advantage was. Now that we got all the cringe-ass cases out of the way, let's move on to the number 1. Kaito Momoto, the ultimate astronaut. This case is truly the most complex and unsolvable case in the game. There is almost zero evidence, and any evidence is intentionally placed by the culprit and victim. The fact that the 2 biggest rivals in the game are key suspects and victims doesn't even help to ease the suspicions. The victim of the case is unknown and the culprit is not even present during the trial. The only reason this trial came to an end is because the culprit confessed because he didn't want to see his friends dying.
Stop it! That's enough!
Huh?
It's over. If you guys get it wrong and Monokuma gets it right, then you'll all get punished. There's no way I can let that happen. So, it's fine. Let's end this.